What is up, guys? Rickackis here, and I want to talk to you today about Vault Space, why this is a much bigger issue than people are giving it credit for, and why Bungie's failure to address the issue of Vault Space could result in the Taken King being much worse at launch than it could and frankly should be. Now in the background you're seeing my personal Vault Space issues. You can see here that I'm going to go to my vault and then to each of my 3 different characters, and you can see what I am dealing with. Now I'm someone who, I'm not necessarily a huge completionist. I am a collector. I like to collect things. Like I have one of each of the different exotics. Even if there's terrible exotics I don't really utilize, I like to have them, and I feel like since they are something that should be desirable, exotics should be something that are desirable, that my treatment of the vault is kind of normal. Again, I just kind of use it for storing cool weapons. I don't have very many mementos, but it's getting to the point where my lack of vault space is literally discouraging me from playing the game. Now, that sounds insane, but it's true. Here's the example. I don't have Prettiest Timepiece, which is a Vault of Glass primary weapon. Now I could easily go and farm for it and get it. I was actually thinking about, maybe even streaming it. Then I was thinking, I seriously don't think I have room for another primary. Especially if the Taken King comes out and Bungie doesn't address the issue of vault space. I seriously won't have room for another primary. And the same is the case for a couple of Crota's End weapons. I wasn't really thrilled with the game when Crota's End came out. Dark Below came out, and so I don't have some of the hard mode Crota's End weapons. And I don't have a big desire to get them, not because I don't want them. I would actually love to have some of the Crota's End hard mode weapons in my inventory, in my possession, but I literally don't think I have room for them. And the reason simply is Bungie hasn't said anything about addressing the vault space issue when the Taken King comes out. I'm in an especially difficult position as I am obviously a YouTuber and I do weapon reviews. So I like to have legendary weapons on hand that I can do reviews on, and more importantly, have legendaries on hand that I can compare weapons to. That is becoming more and more of an issue as my vault space is ever decreasing. But I think people also are looking too much at the weapons and armor side of things. If I needed to, if the Taken King released tomorrow and I absolutely needed to, I could make room for a lot of the Taken King weapons. It wouldn't be pretty, stuff would get deleted, but I could do it. What people aren't paying enough attention to is the actual materials and usable items in your inventory. You saw that when I went to all 3 of my different characters, basically all 3 of them had their materials slot in their inventory completely full. The area where useful materials like Ascendant Shards, Radiant Shards, and Etheric Light is completely full. This is a massive issue because how is the Taken King going to function? The Taken King has yet another level increase. Each time there has been a level increase in all of the DLCs, they have introduced new materials in order to accommodate this. Well, if they introduce more new materials, I won't have room for them. I just will not be able to. Am I going to have to delete all of my Ascendant materials? Have no room for Ascendant Shards, for example, to accommodate these new materials? Not only that, what about other materials we don't even know about? The addition of passage coins for the Trials of Osiris shows us that they can introduce new, extremely important materials. Where am I supposed to put these, Bungie? Because as you saw in my vault, I'm almost completely full in my materials category. It's pretty unbelievable that the magnitude of this issue was even allowed to occur. Someone along the lines from Bungie sat down and asked someone, hey, so we're not going to increase vault space, but we have 4 different legendary emblems rewarded to each player for just simply completing the House of Wolves main quest line. And someone else said, yep, sounds good. Are you kidding me? Like, 4 emblems just for completing the House of Wolves storyline. Where am I supposed to put my emblems? Seriously, Bungie. And if you're someone that's saying, well, emblems aren't really important, they don't have an effect in the game, well then, why even put them into the game in the first place? If they're going to make the effort to introduce and to design all of these emblems that I'm supposed to be able to show off my individuality and show off what I've accomplished as a Guardian, why give me literally no space for any of them? It seems to be the general consensus of most people that the issue of vault space was caused by massive incompetence by Bungie's part and also a lack of foreseeability. Maybe they just were too busy designing stuff like the House of Wolves and they just didn't even think about vault space, which is a little understandable. Yet we are at the precipice of the largest amount of weapons being added to the game of all time. Like, Bungie themselves have said that the armory at the point of the Taken King launch will be at its absolute largest point ever. So Bungie is working extremely hard and making all of these awesome new weapons for the Taken King, taking the time to design each foundry that we can have Borderlands-esque style of gun manufacturers and we can get attached and have favorite gun manufacturers, and the differentiation between these gun manufacturers in both weapons and armor is huge. But all that almost doesn't even matter because I don't have room for anything else. Bungie, how was this supposed to end? Now I'm going to speculate a little bit here, but could the vault space problem be a little bit more nefarious than we're giving it credit for? The example I have here is if you go to any sort of database website and you look at, for example, auto rifles in Destiny, you can see that all of the rarities of auto rifles only break into 3 different categories in terms of rate of fire and impact. They're all copy-pasted within that category. Like, there's the slow rate of fire auto rifles, medium, and fast. That's it. Every auto rifle falls between one of these 3 categories. Could the lack of vault space and the inability to get older weapons in the game right now, like you can only get House of Wolves weapons from engrams and most activities in the game state right now, could this all be to disguise the fact that Bungie copies and pastes weapons so much? Is vault and inventory space kept artificially small just so that we can't start comparing a bunch of guns and saying, wait a minute, this gun is basically exactly like this gun, which is basically exactly like this gun, which is basically exactly like this gun? You know, that is a possibility. Yet it seems ironic that finally when Bungie is introducing these foundries with the Taken King and actually properly differentiating each gun, because, you know, each foundry has different perk layouts even for their different weapons, that we still have this vault space issue. So what it basically breaks down to is this. Listen, Bungie, when the Taken King comes out, you know, I'm excited for everything you're added into the game. But if the Taken King releases, and I am already deleting cool new Suros weapons that I just found because I don't have room for them, that is going to massively impact my joy and my appreciation of your hard work. Not to mention that logistically, if you're adding new materials and new usable items into the game with the Taken King, which I assume you are, logistically and literally, I don't know how it's feasible, how the game is going to function with so little room in the inventory unless I start deleting whole scores of old material types. Bungie, don't let your hard work be wasted. Give me some space so that I can appreciate the new additions with the Taken King. If you guys agree with that statement, please remember to share and like this video so we can get Bungie's attention and hopefully get a vault space increase or an inventory space increase before the Taken King drops, because it's going to be absolute crap if we can't get this to happen. That's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. Doing so will let you see Destiny content similar to this. My Twitch channel and Twitter are both linked in the description of this video. So check out my Twitter if you want to get in touch with me, and check out my Twitch if you want to see my ramblings live. Again, I hope you enjoy, and as always, have a good day.